Well, hey there, Well team. It's Adele King in here from the Wellbeing Weekly. This week, bringing you a 40-minute post-workout wind down, cool down. It could be after a brisk walk or a brisk jog or some kind of aerobic exercise session, or it could be just after a really busy, high intense kind of go, go, go kind of day. We do a few stretches that really help you focus on the breath. And then the last half of it is more like a yin session. A yin session is where everything's really nice and low to the ground. We spend a lot of time in this shape to allow gravity and presence and introspection and patience to do all the good work, which are really great qualities to cultivate in anything that you want to take through into the rest of your day. So I highly recommend scheduling the full 40 minutes. There's a little reset in the middle if you've only got 20 minutes and you've done quite a long workout and you just want the quick 20-minute stretch, then that's a go-to practice for you as well. We like flexibility. That's what a lot of this is about. Flexibility of mind, body, the tone of our nervous system, all of that good stuff. I will ask you towards the end of the practice to use something like a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, it could be a really fat book with a cushiony towel or some extra padding draped over it. It could be a tightly rolled big fat towel or blanket. That could be helpful too. If you've got two big fat books or two yoga blocks, grab those as well. You'll see why as we get into it. But if you don't have anything fancy like that, you're like, lady, I'm not much of a yogi, you expect me to have yoga blocks, I'm just here at home with my cat and my soup, whatever it is, I'm sure you can find something. Even when I'm traveling, I manage to make do with what I find in a hotel room. You know, there's often a Bible in the corner cabinet there. So even if you can find that and stack a pillow on it, you're winning. Okay, so go get those, get yourself sorted, get into this positive frame of mind that you have this body, you've just done a workout, you've just completed an awesome day, even if it was high intensity, high stress, you've got this time for you. That is such a privilege. So gather all of that and we'll get started. Okay, so standing up on your mat and go with a nice, really wide stance. You can reach your arms out, and a good reference point is where your wrists are. You want to land your feet as wide as your wrists. Look at your feet as you bring your hands to your hips. Point your second toes forwards. Take a big full breath in, so much so it's like you telescope your ribs off your belly, front, side, and back. Then on your exhale, start to hinge forwards at the hips and bow yourself forwards, keeping your hands at your hips and point your elbows to sky. Let your head hang and be heavy. You could nod your head, shake your head. You could rock your weight forward and back. Just acknowledging the steady strength in your legs, and yes, they might feel a bit tired here or a bit shaky. But notice if you're tending to kind of collapse down into them and spill everything out down into the floor. See if you can find a sense of lift up the front of your legs, pulling up your kneecaps, your quads, pulling up the back of your legs. And notice how that helps you find a little bit more length in your spine. Then take another big full breath in here. Long, long breath out. And stay steady in your legs. Inhale, come back up. And on your exhale, pivot around towards your left foot. Drop down to your right knee. Bring your hands to your left thigh. Allow your left knee to land over your left ankle. And press your hands into your thigh to move your belly back away from your thigh. Find a nice deep stretch through the front of the right hip, the hip flexor there. And you can pulse with a bit of breath for this, inhaling to lift, telescope those ribs up, get really tall. And exhale to settle and drop the hips a little bit deeper. And again, inhale. Focusing on a really long, long exhale. That's how we cool down and recover. Again, inhale. And exhale it out, 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 out. Okay, then take your hands to frame your front foot, or if you've got something like two yoga blocks, your hands to your blocks is really helpful. Inhale, look forwards over your front foot. Then on your exhale, Glide your hips over your back knee. Peel the toes of your front foot back at the same time. Then inhale, rebend into the low lunge. Look forwards, get long. And exhale, glide your hips back. Work your front leg towards straight. We're not aiming for dead straight here. Again, like that. Inhale. Exhale and glide. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, glide. Last one. Inhale. Get really big and broad. And exhale, long breath out, cooling down, dropping into a place of recovery from our exercise, our workout. And stay here, working this leg towards straight, really activating the support in the leg to skillfully open the back of the leg, particularly the hamstrings. Pull your toes back towards your knee and even dig your heel into the floor. And imagine trying to drag your heel to the back of your mat without moving the foot. Just imagine it's dragging to the back of the mat. So it's almost like there's a bandaging of support. Skin hugs to muscle, hugs to bone, and it cues the flexibility receptors there. Those places we're trying to unravel and reduce tension and open up. It gives them a sense of safety, of support to start to let go. You can also support yourself by focusing on a really long breath out. Support yourself with a bit of time here in the pose. And that way you're practicing presence and attunement to what is. It could be really helpful to count your breath, inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go like that again. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay active in that foot and the heel. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good stuff. Slowly peel that left foot back down to the floor. Pause in your low lunge. Let your head be heavy. And feel that sensation through the left leg. Then bring your hands to your hips. Tuck the back foot if it's not tucked already. And lift powerfully up over that back knee. Inhale, lift your torso up. Tail down. Belly in, front ribs in, so you get that stretch through the front of the right hip again. And we're going to offer a little bit more stretch there by inhaling, reaching your arms wide and high. And then on your exhale, grab your right wrist and arc over towards the side of your front leg, so over towards the left. And you'll get a whole raft of sensation there around the right hip to really breathe to. Focus your breath and make your breath really big and global, as well as those sensations there in the hip. You breathe to even more of you, and really calming and cooling and settling it all down through long, long exhales. Good, then inhale, come back up. Whee, bit of balance. Exhale, hands to hips. Lift yourself up and pivot back around to the long edge of your mat. Notice what's going on there in the hips and the legs. Give it a little shimmy, shake out. Whatever needs to continue to be mobilized, mobilize it. Then this time with your legs as wide as your wrists, second toes pointing forwards. Interlace your hands behind you, like so. You can aim to squeeze the heels of your hands together and your inner elbows together. And notice how that has the immediate effect of opening up through the chest, particularly if you've been doing a lot of this or a lot of this. It's really nice to go in the opposite direction to balance it out. If that's not quite available for you, you can have your wrists more like a square. Just find a suitable grip. Set your foundation, firm your legs. Inhale, get tall, telescoping those ribs off your belly, front, side, and back. So creating space first, then take that with you as you exhale, slowly peel down towards the floor, pouring your spine down towards the floor. Taking your handshake overhead.
And you could give a little swivel around side to side if that's helpful. Just mobilizing your shoulder blades on your ribs. Giving yourself a little stretch around side to start to stretch out your breath. And pause in center for a couple of rounds of breath. See if you can really aim for that 4 count breath in and 6 count breath out. That will really help your recovery. And it's a really good sign of fitness when you can focus on that long exhale. I know it's tricky. You really want to grab for the inhales. And it's hard to be really patient and trusting of the exhales. But make that your practice. Make that your yoga practice. Patience, trust, presence. Yeah, and then release your hands to your hips. Soft bend in your knees. Inhale, come back up. Pivot around to your right leg now, the leg you didn't have forwards earlier. Lower down to your back knee. I'm going to bring the blocks with me. They're useful. Land in your low lunge. Right knee over right ankle. Then bring your hands to your front thigh again, just as an extra little prop of support to remind you to move your belly off your thigh. So you're not kind of just splaying everything, all the guts, everything out down to the floor. There's a lift up as well as a grounding down. And that should be there in every pose. The grounding down, the lifting up. Kind of like a trampolining action. So move the belly back, the front ribs back. You get that stretch through the front of the left leg. Then you can ease your way into it on a long exhale. So inhale, the rebounding up. And exhale, ease into it. Good, again, inhale. Long, long 6 count, exhale. I said 6. Again. Voila, good stuff. Then hands to frame your front foot or hands to blocks. Big voluminous breath in, look forwards. Exhale, sweep, leading with your sit bones. Sweep your hips over your back knee. Work that front leg towards straight. Then inhale, rebound back into your lunge. Look forwards. Exhale and glide back. Again, inhale. Exhale back. Try not to grab for that inhale. And exhale. The entire length and depth of the breath, there's an even texture to it. And last one. Land here in half splits, or what we call runner's stretch, helpfully. Pull the toes of your foot clearly back, dig into your right heel and drag it towards the back of your mat. So you get an isometric engagement, like a bandishing, a sheathing of support all the way around the right leg. And with all that support and that clarity of presence and intent, you can start to fold a little bit deeper. No, you're not going to blast out anything around the knee or the lower back. And the flexibility receptors there, they have a good cue. Okay, we don't have to shorten in response to an aggressive folding. There is support, there is breath, there's a clarity of intent to ease into it. So then they will feel really okay to open. It's like giving someone a good hug. And they start to soften their skin and open up to receive your hug. There's a couple more rounds of breath counting for you. You might go just a touch deeper, knowing you're not being aggressive with it. This is a good cool down. Last long breath out. And then inhale, look forwards, reset your right foot, pause in the low lunge with your head heavy, just hips softening down into gravity. Get a little bit heavier in that right foot all the way through the toes. And tuck your back foot, bring your hands to your hips and lift powerfully off that back knee. Really super glue the quad up into the thigh bone. So there is energy and lift there. And that will support you to drop a little bit deeper into the front leg, bending it towards a square. Then big, full, voluminous breath in, sweep your arms up. And on your exhale, grab hold of your left wrist and arc over to the side. Find a lateral side bend stretch. So you've got a sensation through the front and around the side. The pelvic stabilizes there, helping support you even as you stretch. And then inhale, come back up. Well done. Exhale, hands to your hips. I know your legs are working. Come back up around to the long edge of your mat. One more wide-legged forward fold. Feet as wide as your wrists. Second toes pointing forwards. This time with your hands to your hips. Get really tall and big. Big inhale. And exhale, pour forwards and just go halfway. And really keep a sense of lift into the skin of the back of your body. So again, you're not spilling it all out down to the floor. There's a sense of integrity and dimensionality to this shape. And it's really good for present awareness into all of our cells, all of our body, that integrity and that dimensionality. Then send your right hand clearly underneath your chest, right under the middle of your sternum on fingertips. It helps you resist that tendency to collapse. And then from your right lung, inhale, sweep around to the left and peel that left arm up. Stay here as you exhale, get really long in your spine and spread the wings of your arms apart. Then inhale, release. Left hand down where your right hand was. Stay here as you exhale and ground. Then inhale from the fullness of the left lung, start to swivel around your spine, all the way around to the right, reach your right arm up. Stay here as you exhale and shoot energy down your legs and through the wingspan of your arms. Then inhale, release. Stay here as you exhale, ground. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Exhale, reach. Inhale, release. One more. Stay here as you exhale. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Stay here as you exhale and stretch. Getting excited today. And then inhale, release. Good. Release your head down. Give yourself a little shimmy shake as you bend your knees. And you can walk your feet in a little bit closer, get your butt low. You can draw little figures of 8. You can rock over to one side, then the other side. Kind of ninja, capoeira styles. It's like you're giving your hip joint a good little floss. This freeform movement. Shoulders, neck, jaw, head, wrists. Walk your feet together, roughly out of hip distance. You might be able to nestle your butt down into yogic squat. It might be that your feet are closer together, the heels are off. That's okay too. Just make sure the gap behind the knees is closed off so the knee joints are protected. Good. And come onto your knees a moment. Roll your shoulders. Just checking in everything that you awakened in your workout or your run today. Just continuing to gently mobilize. And even though there's a bit of activity in the movement or in the stretch, you're really calming down, you're really cooling down and offering a nice dip from that good stress. You know, the workout, the high intensity, good stress, but we want the dip. And that dip's really important so we have flexibility of tone in our nervous system. Really important so we have flexibility of response to the energetic needs of the day. And you do that through a long, long breath out. And just practice that with me a couple more times before we lie on our back and finish off our stretch. So again, just let's exhale together. Then inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little pause so you're not grabbing or rushing. Then inhale for 4,
3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little pause. Be settled and peaceful there. And then inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good stuff. Now before we come to lie on our back, I'm going to get you to continue to focus on that breath work and then choose a quad stretch that will be useful for you. So you could come back around if you feel you have access in the lunge. You could do a nice quad stretch side to side. You could do it standing up. Or if you're more of a yogi and you really like Virasana and the knees and the ankles are protected and safe, they're not inflamed, you could do my favorite version, which is lying down, all the way down, and get a good stretch there. So I want you to make a skillful choice on that one based on your body, the needs of your body today. If your butt's sitting up, not on the ground here, or if there's any knee or ankle pain, you will not lie down. You will come back to a lunge quad stretch or standing up. So press pause, take a couple of minutes to do that. This is where you get to be your own best teacher after being a student of your breath and a student of really honoring your body. And then we'll meet lying on our backs. Okay, so welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that time really connecting to what you needed, so it's not just about me dictating to you what you should do. Really important distinction. And we're going to come to lie on our backs and use your makeshift yoga block / rolled up towel / bunched up cushion and nestle that right under the back of your pelvis. So it's not the curve of the lower back, that's something different, but right down at the back of the pelvis where that flat triangle bone of your sacrum is. So you want to adjust it so you've got support. You don't want it to be too high here. You can maybe go a touch higher than what I've got, but this is again more about bringing everything right down and restoring. So we don't want to be really aggressive and be pushing ourselves. Then extend your left leg out long, dig into the left heel, pull the toes back towards you. Get really heavy in that left side pelvis. Then hug your right knee into your chest. A little bit of activity in the right foot as well, so the entire sheath of our body is fully participating here. And then get really heavy in the right side of the pelvis as well, dropping that outer right hip down towards the block, towards your left heel. And you can just use your hands hanging on your right shin as a little bit of counter force to find that stretch, not only through the back of the right glute, but also here as we really focus on releasing onto the block. It's stretching through the front of the left thigh. And the more time we spend here, we'll start to find a nice restorative release through the hip flexor on the left side there, the main hip flexor, your psoas. So once you've created this shape and you've really filled this shape with breath and awareness, your only job here is to get as heavy as you can be, releasing down into the block, releasing your weight down into gravity. And that will really help the health and the tone of your psoas muscle there on the left. Your long 6-count exhales will really help with that too. Particularly as the psoas is not only a deep, long muscle that helps you run and spring into action, or when needed, curl into a tiny little ball, but it's a sensory organ. A lot of conventional wisdom suggests that it holds a lot of trauma and stress through its role as being a sensory organ related to the sympathetic part of your nervous system, fight or flight, springing into action, curling into a ball. So we're restoring it here so it can shed that stress, that tension, that trauma.
That will have a flow-on effect into the health and vitality of the abdominal organs as it acts as a shelf for those organs. It runs from the inside of your inner thighs through the pelvic bowl, through the abdominal organs, up into your mid-back. Because it runs all the way up to your mid-back to T12, it's fascially connected, so the little tightly woven connective tissues, the fascial tissues, it's fascially connected to your diaphragm, so the way in which you breathe has a significant impact on this fight or flight muscle, sensory organ. Let's spend a little bit more time with it on this side. Good. Then release your right foot to the floor. Keep the right knee bent, just so you got a little bit of stability to bring the left knee up, and you can adjust your block however you need. Then extend the right leg straight, dig into the right heel, pull the toes back. Interlace your fingers in front of your left shin. Just a little bit of activity in your feet means you're not going to go to sleep on me. But more so, once you create the shape, fill the shape with your attentiveness, with your breath. As I said earlier, your only job here now is to focus on that long exhale and get as heavy as you can be, almost like you're a paperweight. So you're not bracing or holding unconscious tension. And you can really start to clear a pathway for the front of the right hip and the main hip flexor, the psoas muscle there on the right, and deeply let go and restore. If you get distracted or fidgety, that's okay. Just come back to that really long exhale, and counting your breath will help with your focus. It will help direct your energy to what's helpful here, to cool down, to recover from your workout, to gift yourself a little bit more flexibility and freedom to skillfully respond to the energetic needs of what remains of the rest of your day. Get a few more breaths. Get really heavy in the back of the pelvis, on the right side, the left side. Awesome. All done. Release that left foot down to the floor. Bend your right leg as well. Press into your feet and lift your support out from underneath you. Take your feet as wide as your mat and windscreen wiper your legs over side to side. And then from there, cross your left thigh over your right thigh, like you cross your legs at the dinner table or in a chair. Hug your knees into your chest and get really heavy through the back of your pelvis again, almost like you've got a block there still that you're releasing into. Then lift your head and your chest to reach your hands up and over, and take your hands to the outside of your shins, your ankles or your feet, and that will really depend on what's available to you today in terms of stretching through the glutes, deeper than that, the external rotators. And so check in with that. And what we want to be able to do is then release our head and our chest back down to the floor. And if it's really quite bunchy, it might be that that's difficult. So you can use what you had beneath your pelvis as a little pillow So you're not having to work too hard to hold on to your legs. And you can soften around your jaw, your neck and your shoulders. So you take hold of your legs and you can then actually start to move your shins and your feet apart from each other. Almost like you could wrap your feet around towards your ears. And if you really lift it off the back of your pelvis, reset the back of your pelvis back down. Then you could play around with this depending on where the depth of the stretch is for you. Feet could come closer towards the floor. I know for me, I find it a little bit more if I move my feet more so they're parallel with my knees. So you can develop this shape by filling the shape with breath, by paying attention to sensation. So make some choices for you. And what you'll start to find is you really listen in here. There's a deep stretch beneath the left glute. Right in deep there. And continue to focus on that 4 count breath in and the 6 count breath out. So it's not only a release through the muscle tissue, but we start to find some plasticity and some unpacking and some unraveling. And the tissues that gives us form, that holds us together, the fascial sheath. And it's a way we can literally reshape ourselves. Through spending time, being patient, being trusting. That once we set it up, we can let go into it. Once we recruit the support, we can soften into it. And do that with breath. Couple more rounds. Good. Then release your hold on your feet. Remove your pillow out from underneath you. Keep the cross in your legs. And all you're going to do is reset your right foot on the floor to pick your hips up and over to the left. So then you've got a nice clear pathway to drop your knees all the way over to the right. As best you can, keep your left shoulder on the floor. Reach your left arm out, straight out from the shoulder. And if it's too much on your lower back to keep the cross of the legs, you can always unravel the legs. Again, arriving, filling shape with energy, with breath. And let time and gravity do all the work. Nothing you need to make happen here. You just got a really nice, simple, easy job of focusing on your breath. It's so freeing to know that that's all you need to do. Awesome. Relish that. I know we have a tendency to try and do as much as we can, as quick as we can, and really make the most of every opportunity. Often the paradox is the less you do, the more you get. The less you force and push, the fuller the opportunity. You could stay like this. You could extend that left leg out straight and lift the foot up towards your left shoulder, and you'll find a little bit more of a stretch through the entire outer line of the leg. A few breaths. Good. Then lower that left leg to the right leg and come back up through center. Give a little windscreen wipe side to side. And last little bit. So repeating that on the second side. And then we'll be nicely restored. We'll have this healthy sense of flexibility in body, in tone, and our energy. Crossing your right thigh over your left thigh. Curl your head and your chest up to hug your knees into your chest and check in with what's going on the right side there. It might be quite different to the left side right under the glute, as opposed to where you can get your hands situated out of shins, out of ankles, out of feet. And you can always reach around and get that extra little bit of pillow so you're not having to reach and tug on it too much. And you can apply again, heels down towards the floor or heels up in line with the knees as you start to gently spread the shins apart from each other. Really got it in this side for me. So I'm focusing here on really dropping and weighting down the back of my right pelvic half. So there's a real cue there of softening, of releasing into gravity, into all the space I'm creating with a bit of time here. And that focus on the length of my breath. Knowing that that's enough. And trusting that I don't need to grab for more. Trusting I don't need to grab for the next inhale. It's being a student of the capacity to let go. It's so freeing when you find that capacity. You stay a student of that capacity to lengthen the breath out, to patiently be in this shape, to let go to what is. So much more space opens up when you find that. Kind of ridiculously awesome. Isn't it good we can share it together? A few more breaths. And release the hold on your feet. Keep the shape in your legs. Just set your left foot down to the floor to pick up your hips. Shimmy your hips over to the right. Move your pillow out from underneath you. And drop your legs over to the left. Ground that right shoulder as much as you can, sweeping the right shoulder blade down your back. Right arm out to the side. You can decide where you look with your head. Really hoping you're not looking at me, that you're really focusing on filling this breath, this shape, this moment with your energy. Your intent to arrive, to support yourself, to greet what is here, and to deeply, deeply let go into that. And I'm not going anywhere if you don't hear me talking. I'm still here. I'm just focusing on my breath just as much as I hope you are.
Right, and from that breath focus, from that deep listening, you could stay here. That feels really good. You want to get just a touch more of a stretch through the outer line of the leg. You can kick that right leg straight out in front of you, sweeping the right heel towards the left shoulder, landing the back of the right shoulder firmly on the mat. Breathe there. Last little bit. From your capacity to let go, find your capacity to enjoy what's here. Well done. Bend that right knee so it matches up with your left, and lift your knees back up through center. And take any final stretch you feel you need, maybe a whole body yawn, arms overhead, to settle yourself into a final resting pose. It could be a little bit of a Supta Baddha Konasana first, could be legs out straight, could be coming up to a seat. Make a choice that feels really good for you as you continue this process of settling down, cooling down, of deeply restoring to re-emerge back into your day exactly as you desire. And thank you for being here with me today. If you've got a couple more minutes to pause where you are as you are and deeply rest, I highly, highly encourage it. It'll be so powerful for you. Even just to recognize that you don't have to go. All those things that await you will still be there. And if you can find this capacity to let go, to deeply rest, you'll be able to meet and greet those things with so much more energy, vitality, and fullness, even with a smile. So rest as you need. Be sure to spend a moment or two in deep gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude and appreciation that it is to have this body that allows you to move and feel and create. Have this breath, have this life. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Namaste.